Astro Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we'll be talking about Mercury Conjunct Ketu, the natal chart. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So firstly, what do you need to interpret Mercury and Ketu in the chart? It's very important to see this in your D1 Rashi chart, the natal chart position, but also it's extremely important to see this in the D9 chart as well to get the strength of this planet. You will find this in the D9 Navamsa chart. You can also check to see the full result of this planet in the D60 chart as well. It's also extremely important to see the sign placement to see which element is this positioned in, as well as the house placement, and some things that can change this conjunction or aspects or conjunctions with additional planets. So you want to check to see that this is just Mercury and Ketu in the chart. So what does Ketu represent? Ketu is the body or the tail of Rahu. So Rahu and Ketu always exist in opposition in the natal chart, and Ketu is representing our exit from this material world. It is all about moksha, liberation. So Ketu is all about detachment. It is trying to get us to detach from this material existence and to move towards spirituality. Ketu also is a planet of loss, of detachment, of disillusionment, detangling us again from this material incarnation. So on a material sense, Ketu can cause some problems in our lives as well, but it's very good for our spirituality, for those who are seeking enlightenment, those who are seeking to get closer with spirit with this placement will do very well. Ketu is also a creative planet, helps us to tap into the astral plane, into our imagination, into the dream world, connecting with our ancestors and our past life experience. Ketu holds the flag signifying our past life achievements, so this can also be seen through Ketu. Along with this, similar to Rahu, Ketu can cause all sorts of disturbances, sudden transformations in life. Ketu also is a very knowledgeable planet that gives us the ability to research, to analyze, to dissect information. And this makes this somewhat of a positive conjunction to have, because Mercury also is a very analytical planet as well. So we'll talk more about that as we go ahead into the video. But what does Mercury represent? Mercury is our ability to think practically, to use our rational mind. Mercury also is a planet of decision making, of dealing with money, business concerns, dealing with the practical world. Mercury rules over the earth element, so all of the material concerns. Mercury also rules over our skills, including our communication and writing ability. So all forms of speech, language can be seen through Mercury as well. Mercury definitely is related to science, to mathematics, to computer work as well, dealing with things that involve organization, logic, solving problems, coming up with solutions, all is coming under the influence of Mercury. Mercury also represents children because it's a very youthful planet. It represents our youthfulness, our curiosity, our ability to learn, to explore with this as well. So what happens then when Mercury is conjunct with Ketu? Well, as I said before, it can be very good for research, for analyzing information. Definitely it's going to be a very intellectual placement to have in your chart. However, Mercury and Ketu are not really compatible with each other, so there will be some problems that come up with this conjunction as well. With Mercury conjunct Ketu, it definitely can show that you're a very intelligent and skillful person, because Ketu represents our past life experience, and again, showing our achievements that we gained through past life. Mercury is representing our ability to deal with logic, to deal with information, to obtain certain skills. So definitely there will be some kind of skill coming from past life that is related to Mercury. This could be something in science, math, computers, dealing with teaching, lecturing, business, commerce, anything related to Mercury can be seen. It's also said sometimes that having an auspicious conjunction or aspect, particularly an aspect from Jupiter, can help to bring up this conjunction and to diminish some of those difficult qualities that can be seen in the chart. So you want to check to see, is Jupiter in any kind of aspect with this conjunction? This will definitely help you. But ultimately, this is a placement that can make it difficult to make decisions at times. You can be very indecisive with this placement. It also can make you very restless, where you're jumping jumping from one thing to the next. There's dissatisfaction where you're constantly finding yourself moving, changing. For example, if this is in the 10th house of the chart, you may be changing your career pursuits with this conjunction. Because of this difficulty with making decisions with this placement, sometimes there is a need to have some kind of guide, counselor, advisor. If you're dealing with finances, for example, having a financial advisor who can help you to make some decisions in this area can be helpful for you. This placement definitely, because it makes you so restless, jumping from one thing to the next, having some kind of spiritual practice, meditation, something that is relaxing that can help you to slow down, can be very helpful not only in making decisions and calming down the mind, but also on your spiritual journey as well. This also can affect communication again, because this is ruled over by Mercury. So definitely with this conjunction, there can be a tendency to communicate, but to be misunderstood by others. It's as if you're saying one thing, but the meaning is totally different. So people tend to get confused sometimes by the way that you communicate. And you want to see really how is this placed in the chart. So if this is in a very challenging position, there can be speech disorders, all sorts of issues with language and communication can be seen. At the same time though, if this is placed well in the chart, it can make you very skilled with language. It can make you very skilled at learning various languages and dealing with information in general. But again, there is a tendency to feel misunderstood by others. Sometimes it could also even make your speech very harsh, because Ketu is a planet that has no head, so it tends to do things impulsively. So sometimes you can speak without really fully thinking it through, and this can come off in the wrong way to others. So definitely there's a need to find that sense of meditation, relaxation again, slowing down this energy a little bit, calming down the mind with this placement can be very helpful. There can be issues with friendships as well, because again, Ketu is about loss on a material sense. So because Mercury rules friendship, there can be issues with losing friends, having all sorts of issues of splits and breakups in this area that can be very difficult with this placement. It also could be a placement where you are a little bit out of touch with your inner child. Again, Mercury is about being youthful, so there can be an issue with being able to just have fun and express yourself sometimes with this placement. It could actually make you a bit of a workaholic, depending upon how this is placed in the chart. But definitely it could help you in terms of dealing with money and making business decisions if it's placed well in the chart. Because again, if this is in a challenging position, then there is a difficulty with making decisions, which in that case, you want to seek out someone who can help to give you a second opinion, someone who can help to guide you to make the right decisions in this area. But if it's placed well, then because Ketu is a very intuitive planet, it can help you with making some really clever decisions in this area. This also could help you with stock market investments, anything that is involving risk taking, again, giving you this intuition to calculate, to see patterns, to understand how to be successful in this area. One thing you want to watch out for though is overdoing it, because this can lead to making mistakes later on in life. This placement can definitely help you with overcoming greed, but initially there can be some issues of greed that can show up depending upon, again, how this is placed in the chart. But ultimately, this can make you a bit detached later on in life, especially when it comes to career, status, material things. There can be a feeling of wanting to live a simpler life. This can make you feel a bit more happy and at ease to have a more simplistic lifestyle. One of the difficulties is holding on to a lot of additional information from some of the things that you have not completed in your life. Again, this can be an impulsive placement, restless, just jumping from one thing to the next. So sometimes it can definitely hold you back if you still have some things uncompleted. Your mind tends to linger on those tasks that were left in the past. So there's definitely a need to find a way to complete the activities in your life, to find a sense of structure where you're focused on one thing at a time. Sometimes bouncing from one thing to the next is not very helpful for you in terms of your achievements and moving forward in life. So there's definitely a need to control this to some degree. And again, this will come down to the placement of this conjunction. What sign is this in? What house is this in? Becomes very important. As I said earlier, this can make you a very skilled researcher. So definitely you could do well in fields of science, of exploration, being very experimental, finding new and clever explorations with this placement can be seen. This can be very good in terms of opening up a business, dealing with franchise, anything along these lines as well. But again, this is something where a lot of the time there is a need to move on to something new with this placement. So you may be more inclined towards a franchise situation of opening up a business and then selling it off and moving on with this placement, or having multiple things going at the same time. Because there is so much of this restlessness of jumping from one thing to the next, this can also throw your life a little bit out of balance, where there's a need to find a work-life balance where you're actually dealing with various aspects of your life in a balanced way, rather than jumping from one ambition to the next. You also want to see what sign is this in again, which element do you have this placed in. So if it's placed in the fire signs, then this is definitely going to make you very skilled at dealing with knowledge. You could be a very skilled researcher. You could do well in various areas of science, philosophy, astrology, for example, with this position. It could make you a very creative and innovative person as well, generating all sorts of new and clever ideas with this placement. The problem though is that this fire element makes this a very active and restless position, which can take you through a lot of dramatic transformations in life. So there's a need again to find that sense of calm, of stability in your life, to incorporate some spiritual practices, some relaxing practices to calm some of this energy down. If you have this placed in an earth sign, then this can make you a very skillful person, very hard working with this position. The problem though, especially in the sign of Taurus, is a sense of complacency, of being very stubborn, not wanting to listen to others. Getting stuck in a situation can be seen sometimes. In Virgo, it definitely can increase your skill level in various areas of your life, because this is where Mercury is exalted. So this is a very beneficial placement for sure. The problem though, again, is that Ketu can cause some disturbances and sudden changes in life. So sometimes, although you're very skilled, there may be a need to learn a new skill, to take up a course, to take on a new career path at times with this position. If it's placed in Capricorn, again, extremely hard working with this position, but also Capricorn being a sign that is very frugal, you may find that you're happier with a life of simplicity. If you have this in an air sign, then this can make you a very restless person. Air is always moving, changing. So definitely this could make you someone who is traveling, always doing something, picking up some new activity with this placement. And it can cause some confusion for you because you're constantly jumping and changing direction. It can give you some indecision sometimes in actually finding the correct path in life. There also can be some issues in friendships and relationships because the air signs are extremely social, all about communication. There's definitely a need to let go of the past, to let go of some pain and regret from some failed relationships sometimes with this position. Again, you want to check to see what are the aspects, conjunctions, which houses this in becomes very important. But definitely the more honest you are with others, the more ethical you are in your actions and dealing with relationships, the more that you will find a sense of happiness in this area. If you have this placed in a water sign, it's definitely going to make you a very emotional person with this placement. And this can cause some disturbance sometimes, where sometimes your feelings can stop you from making the correct decisions. You can act on feeling instead of taking the time to fully think everything through. So definitely be careful of impulsive moves, especially in the sign of Pisces with this position, or in Scorpio. This placement definitely could make you skilled in research. The water signs are very deep, especially Scorpio and Pisces, and give you a great interest in occult knowledge, astrology, metaphysics, all sorts of deeper subjects with this placement. And definitely because water is a very sensitive element, this can make you extremely intuitive as well with this position. You could be a healing person as well. You have the ability to help other people, to guide other people with this position. Sometimes even working in the medical field can be seen as well. If you have it placed in a Kendra house, it's definitely going to become very dominant in your chart. So if this is placed in the first house, then this is excellent for occult, spirituality, metaphysics, exploring deeper subjects. And this can help with your spiritual growth, personal transformation with this position as well. If this is placed in the fourth house of the chart, then this can cause some disturbance in the home environment. Definitely there can be a feeling of never really finding that sense of comfort or stability that you're looking for in life. And sometimes this can even manifest as you changing locations constantly with this position as well. Doing things in the home sometimes can be disturbing also. Sometimes there's a need to get outside of the home and to do something that isn't involved in this environment. Sometimes even working from a home business can cause a lot of stress and disturbance for you. If this is placed in the seventh house of the chart, then there can be issues in relationships, issues with with actually finding what you're looking for, being able to settle down and to be happy, fulfilled in this area can be an issue sometimes. At the same time though, because Ketu represents past life, you can find a very deep and meaningful connection with a partner that feels like you have met them before in a past life experience. So definitely this could be very helpful for having a strong bond and connection. If you have this place in the 10th house of the chart, it can make you a very skilled business person. You can be very successful in this area, but it's definitely going to make you jump from career to career with this placement. It can make you very restless, very changeable. You always need something new. You need a sense of variety in this area. It can make you very creative and talented as well, which can make you very skilled in this area. Definitely this can help with bringing in multiple sources of income as well. And with this placement, it's very important to understand that it's important to also remain humble and to be of service to other people. This will give you a great sense of happiness and fulfillment through your career pursuits. So I hope you all enjoyed this. If you like this, don't forget to leave a like. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video.